Shalom, family. This is the day that the Most High has made. The I am that I am, Yahuwah Elohim, Luis Eternal. Will rejoice and be glad in it. In this video, I'm going to be decoding, breaking down, and exposing a lot of the judgments and the signs of the end times for the fall of Babylon, specifically the church, specifically Babylon, the Whore of Babylon, and then a lot of the things that's been going on that shows that we're coming to an end, and the 420-year reign of the Gentiles, and also the different Masons that have been in rulership, and the things that's been happening to with like the Most High giving judgments, and then also their own downfall, and then this other things that's just been going on that shows the promises that the Most High had gave to the children of Israel, and then just different signs that he gave that was going to happen at the end for Revelation. So I kind of kept the count of everything that's been going on. I'm going to put them in the video. I'm going to because this is the news channel, so I'm going to let the news tell it how they originally had it, and then I'm going to just share what I seen or what the Most High has showed me, and some things that they're not talking about. So we have 14 million worth of golden artifacts stolen from the Catholic Church in New York, with angel statues' heads cut off. Multiple Catholic priests killed in Nigeria. China launches crusade against Christianity, begins to remove crosses from churches and across the country. $1 trillion of gold deposit discovered, found in Uganda, Africa. The Georgian Guidestones destroyed. Historian Freemason obelisk was struck by lightning. The Alpha Tower struck by lightning. Explosions, underground fires occurred in several parts of the Vatican City. Bill Pizzagate Foundation found a supermarket in Netherlands to sell fake meat has caught fire in the middle of the night, and all this happened between January to now. And then also now we have the animals going in circles, the Euphrates River drying up, the other things with the heat waves going on in certain places, and then the weather. And I'm going to put those in all different videos, but I'm going to get on to the artifacts and the gold stolen in the churches.
Big screen blockbuster. Thieves break into a church, disable the security system, and then steal a jewel-encrusted solid gold tabernacle worth millions of dollars. This, however, is no tall tale. It happened at St. Augustine Roman Catholic Church in Park Slope. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson has the story.
The tabernacle here at this historic church was taken from us.
Something parishioners here at St. Augustine and at Catholic churches all over the world consider a critical part of prayer, a sacred vessel holding the body of Christ.
Such a shock. It's such an act of evil.
Police say someone broke into this church on 6th Avenue in Park Slope and took the ornate 18-karat gold object worth an estimated $2 million. Except during Mass, it sits in a steel case with the doors closed.
They were really trying to rip the whole thing out.
When Father Frank Tomito walked into the church, it still smelled like burnt metal. The suspects cut a huge hole in that case.
That after I collected myself, I went to see where the Eucharist was. And within all the metal shavings was the ciboria, that's the vessel that holds the Eucharist.
Detectives believe the team of suspects went to work here sometime between Thursday evening and Saturday afternoon. It's not clear how they got in, but appears they left through the front door.
I was really sad and completely upset. It's just outrageous what they done it.
As for security cameras, there are many both here inside and outside of the church, and they work. But here's the thing. These suspects planned ahead. They took the entire recording system.
People who has direct access, they had to do that. I don't think a normal person will go inside and take that.
Marble angels surrounding the centerpiece were also damaged. Everyone here hoping whoever took the tabernacle returns it. No questions asked.
All right, when I originally seen this, I thought, okay, that's the persecution of the saints. They have their heads cut off of the saints, a direct attack, just like how it says in Revelations, how a lot of us, our heads would be taken off to the guillotine, and how the persecution and also a lot of the things that going to be going on with the churches and how people the falling away and everything. And then when I started to look into it deeper, I'm like, they were saying how the artifacts or the gold or the tabernacle was stolen from the inside, and it looked like people knew what they were doing. They knew where the cameras was, so like an inside job. So I was thinking the people or the powers that be, could they be taking the stuff now or all the gold and trying to hide it, trying to harvest it, because they know that their time is short. They know that judgment is falling them, and how Babylon has been revealed as the church and has been drunk with the wine of the saints, have actually persecuted the saints, how the cross was used in a lot of the saints' killings, and how the church has misguided a lot of people, because scripture tells us that our body is the church. It tells us we are the temple. The Holy Spirit is supposed to dwell in us, and how the Most High doesn't dwell in temples made by man's hands. And so how religion has been used to brainwash us and to get us to follow certain antichrist types of spirits and types of rulerships. And so that's what I was thinking that was happening with the church after I thought about that, and how they could be trying to store the gold away, because even when the true Israelites came out of Egypt the first time, they took all the gold from the Egyptians, or the people who were over them. They took all their gold, their jewelry, their cattle, and different things like that. So they left with more than they came with. But if they're hiding the stuff and then they're putting it in with them in their bunkers and things, and we know that the money currency is about to be totally eliminated. So it made me think maybe that. And then also just sending a threat also to the saints with the heads cut off, and just showing like the power of what they can do, because they're the powers that be, and they're just waiting out judgment. Also, it just had me thinking how it says the Messiah will come as a thief in the night. And tabernacles are a place of worship and a place of meeting for like after the arrival or the arrival of the Hebrews in the period of dwelling from or going to the promised land. And so, the Most High sending his son on earth to be able to lead the Exodus, lead the worship, be our high priest, because we had the Levites as the high priest in the past. However, we see with all the idol worship that was going on. So now the Messiah in the second coming being our high priest, and then taking back everything that he's supposed to be in rulership over. So I just seen that, also seeing that man who was speaking, his name was David Flowers. And so we know that the scriptures say that the Messiah or the son of David will rise up in the end times, and it says flowers, which means like bloom, which means like, he's coming on the scene, he's blossoming. So I just thought like that. That was like my 3 perspectives on that situation. Let me know what y'all think. And please give me a like, share, and subscribe, because I'm kind of shadow banned on here. And I know that the algorithm's not really liking me, but I'm trying to get these videos out to the 4 corners, and also just doing what the Most High told me to do and spreading the word. So please give me a like, share, and subscribe if you can, and comment, or let me know what you think about these videos, because I can do video requests, or I can speak on other things. Like I have a variety of things I need to release, and that the Most High wants me to release, and that the Messiah is telling me to speak on. But I just enjoy doing this. So if you enjoy it too, please let me know.
A Communist Party campaign during which crosses have been stripped from the roofs of more than 1,200 Chinese churches is being conducted for the sake of safety and beauty, a government official has claimed. Human rights activists accuse the authorities in Zhejiang province in eastern China of using the protracted campaign to slow Christianity's growth in what is one of the country's most church-going regions. By some estimates, China is no woe to 100 million Christians, compared with the Communist Party's 88 million members. Since the government campaign began in late 2013, hundreds of places of worship have had bright red crosses removed. Some churches have been completely demolished, while civil servants have been banned from practicing religion. Some observers suspect the campaign has the backing of the Chinese President, Xi Jinping, and could be a pilot project before a nationwide crackdown. However, an official from Zhejiang's Ethnic and Religious Affairs Bureau told the state-run Global Times newspaper the government had merely relocated the crosses out of safety concerns. Generally speaking, the church staff and people are very supportive of the removals. the official added.
Okay, so I know we're not supposed to be like the heathen, but I actually think that's a good thing that they've been taking down the crosses from the churches and been getting rid of religion because, like I said, religion is supposed for us to rely on. It wasn't for us to be indoctrinated. It wasn't for us to be stuck in slavery, and it definitely wasn't supposed to be for us to worship graven images and pagan signs and symbols. I was reading Nahum today, and it talks about our idols made with silver and gold, made out of wooden, made out of stone, that we put up in high places and we give them worship instead of giving the most high worship or even reading the word. And we would know that, but a lot of people, they can't get rid of these crosses, and I'm just like convinced that it's a part of the mark of the beast, and why it's been used to kill so many people and how it's been used to um, put so many people in slavery, put so many people in indoctrination, but now it's used as a jury symbol or some type of sign of the Messiah when he was against that. Yes, he had to go to the cross when he was actually hung on a tree, but other people, other disciples, they had to go and be killed to the cross just so that prophecy can be fulfilled. And so the blood can be shed for the remission of sins, and also so we can come into the covenant, the new covenant, the renewed covenant, so to say, with coming back in the fold and getting through the Father by the Son and everything like that. But it still was a Roman pagan Catholic symbol, and it's now used in witchcraft. Some of the most deadly dark magic witches are Christians, and they will sing their Christian music, they will have their crosses on and everything, but they're dealing in the most darkest magic and doing the most spells, how they misuse the Bible, how they misconstrue the Bible and switch the scriptures for their own profit and for their own way of rulership. So I think that's a good thing that China's on there, and I feel like that kind of put a target on them because the first disease, what, that spread around the world came out of China, right? And now they're saying another one is coming out of China and other different things. And I feel like they've been experimenting on that for a long time with the overpopulation, with the different things. Even later on, I'm going to get into the heat that was in China. Have some of it judgment, have some of it just straight being bullied by the powers that be, and because they want to be outside of the union and also have something of their own and not like become like a dictatorship but be independent. And a lot of people who are in control, they need us to still be following Babylon and following the church. And right now Jezebel is in charge of the church. Like, that's the horror that's running the church right now. We have our false prophets speaking and eating from the table of Jezebel and dealing with all types of things, and Jezebel not teaching the true word, not teaching about the true Messiah, not even giving the true name. So a lot of those things, like, people are going to realize, like, where our blessings not getting answered, our prayers not getting answered, these things are really not doing nothing for us. So it make it seems like they don't need God, but actually they don't need religion. You just need to have the connection with the Most High. You just need to go directly to the Messiah and to the Most High, because he's our high priest, like I said before, and also the Most High is our creator. So go to the creator and not the creation.
Latest African news. Uganda. Uganda announces discovery of huge gold deposits. Uganda has announced that it has struck a deposit of 31 million tons of gold ore, with extractable pure gold estimated to gross 320,000 tons. President Museveni broke news of the find in his State of the Nation address yesterday, but provided little detail, pointing in general that it would fetch the country more than $12 trillion. Technocrats in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Mr. Museveni noted, had informed cabinet that the country was positioned to get slightly under 700 million in royalty payments with the investors poised to cash in on the windfall. Citing 6 local gold refineries, among them Africa Gold Refinery in Entebbe, that the United States sanctioned in March over illicit sources of its gold, the president declared that the time for Uganda to ship unprocessed exports is over. The volume of the reserve is estimated at 31 million tons of gold ore, or net 320,158 tons of gold, valued at $12.8 trillion, according to a document prepared by the Line Ministry. Uganda's gold exports have been on the rise since opening the Africa Gold Refinery in Entebbe, according to official records. For instance, in 2019 and 2020, the country exported gold worth $1.9 billion to the United Arab Emirates, $1.4 billion to South Korea, and $28.7 million to Hong Kong. In contrast, Uganda imported nearly $2 billion worth of gold, making it the 18th largest gold importer in the world, according to cabinet records.
When I seen that, I was just like, wow, that's so good for them that they found all that gold. And like, what is the odds of them finding 12.8 trillion in gold? And to be honest, they need that because Africa has been privileged. They have been raped of all their resources to build other countries, to be the backbone of other countries. And they haven't been able to keep their resources, their gold, or anything of stock or anything for like trade to really like build their country back up. And also there's some of us who the original Igbo and Bantu Hebrew Jews who are in Africa still, and they need that money really, and then some of us who are going back there and being in the motherland and also where Mount Zion is, and just everything with Africa was not really called Africa because it's been named something different, and the maps have been changed and turned around. However, I just was thinking about how when the Most High says when he will bless us, he will bless those who bless us, and he will curse those who curse us. And so just seeing like the downfall, like all the other countries, because they had originally, treated Judah and treated Israel so bad to where they had to literally come up off of suffering and pillaging and raping and just just doing bad to the different other countries that they really needed to be successful and to reign. And so I hope that they was able to keep that money. I hope they like tried to invest it really good. I had seen that they said they already was giving some or to like Hong Kong and North Korea and other places like that. I don't know the update or what happened to that money. It's like the good things come out in the news and they just tell us certain things sometimes and then we don't hear nothing else from it. And sometimes I don't know if it be fake news or if it be crisis actors or things be actually going on, or if we're going to see a change with the finances that was came. And then I also was remembering how like I said earlier, how the Israelites came out of Egypt, came out of bondage, and this was in June 24th, but when they came out of bondage the first time, they was able to have the different riches and the gold and everything like that. So it was just showing me, or I was just like relating that to us coming out and being richer than what we once had. And then also the promise that he gave to Abraham as well, when he said that he will make him a father of many nations and we will have the riches and the land and everything like that.
Considered by some conservative Christians to be satanic was badly damaged by an explosive device. One of the 4 granite panels on the Georgia Guidestones monument was reduced to rubble. The attraction was built in 1980 from local granite and commissioned under the name R.C. Christian. The 19-foot-high panels bear a 10-part message in 8 languages with guidance for living an age of reason. The so-called American Stonehenge also serves as a sundial and astronomical calendar. The bombing is under investigation.
I remember seeing this and was just like, wow, that was a move of God, because those monuments or whatever they were, the guild stones, those were altars. And in the Bible, it tells us to go to the high places and destroy their altars, destroy their dwelling places. And when they do that, it also destroys the demons and the spirits that's operating behind those things. So those stones were there for like the satanic 10 commandments or what to do in the time of the Agenda 21, the time of the tribulation, to where how they will survive. And but those things, they emit a negative frequency, a negative energy, a demonic frequency. And a lot of people go and they worship, just like how they said how we will worship idols of stone. And so a lot of those places absorb a lot of energy, they absorb a lot of frequency, and they emit it as well. And so a lot of those things have to be thrown down and destroyed for the Most High to do what he's going to do on this land. And so he will use certain things of the enemy's camps, like technology and like bombs, or like somebody who is in their camp, to infiltrate and to do his will. Like whatever happens, the Most High's will is going to be done, even if he uses the enemy to do it, or if he uses himself to do it. And it just shows another of the prophecies fulfilling of how, slowly but surely the enemy is losing foothold in this world, and all the things that were put in place to show, like, put his mark, is being destroyed, so that new earth can come and new ground can be made. So I just thought that was amazing. And I don't know where I found that post at. However, a lot of those things that that woman or that man had said about the coming explosions for a lot of the different monuments and things that were of the kingdom of darkness being exploded, half of them have already happened and will continue to happen as judgment continues, as tribulation unfolds. And then you have your ancient obelisk that also was struck by lightning this year. And those are the astropoles that were in the Bible. And I don't know about y'all, but whenever I see prophecy fulfilling, whenever I see the word passing, whenever I see judgment, or I just see something that is just like fascinating, I get super excited. And I'm like, wow, this is actually happening. We're actually living it out and seeing things play out, and all these things have to be turned down so that the Most High can be lifted up. Okay, all these things were being used against the Most High to keep us under spell bond, to keep us under Masonic curses, to keep us worshiping false gods, keeping us in blasphemy, keep us in idolatry. And so a lot of these things have to be turned down to make room and make way for the Messiah and for the Most High to get the praise and the worship that they're supposed to get. And I'm going to post about how how they use the poles back in the ancient times, and how they're literally everywhere around the world, and they're like that because they're altars, and they're also emitting frequencies, and they're also attracting certain demonic spirits, and they have to have them in certain regions where the spirits are most likely to dwell, and where the children of the Most High and the chosen ones are most likely to be at. So to just like to keep us trapped, they have to surround us with evil on every corner to like keep us in bondage, and also to keep us controlled in a way. But that's all about to go down. Like, it's about to end. Like, they're really gonna have no power over us, with a lot of their tools, a lot of their spell work not working, a lot of the things that they went to, a lot of their gods not answering, because their gods are chained up and bound or sent to the lake of fire for eternity.
Hey folks, the same night that the Georgia Guidestones were attacked, I guess, the obelisk inside of the square at the Vatican was struck by lightning, supposedly. And now Rome and the Vatican is on fire, and it doesn't seem like anybody's talking about this. Not on the mainstream media. Maybe a little bit out of like Israel I've seen, but as far as like American YouTube and all that, I can barely find anything on it. You would think that this would be running and viral. Yeah, the Vatican is on fire, burning down Rome. Nobody's reporting on it. Here, check this out. Here. Let me go back here. Check this out. Go to history. Rome is burning. Yep. They're hearing explosions. Then all of a sudden there's this huge fire. This guy was fortunate enough to film it for us. Wow, the sky has a... What's in the sky right there? What is that?
What is that way up there?
Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you don't know, the same day that Georgia Guidestones were struck by lightning, the historic obelisk in the Vatican City was struck by lightning on the same afternoon, July 7th, 2022. Pieces of bricks and mortar were scattered near the site. Now, folks, the Vatican is on fire. It's the 10th. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was posted
Same footage.
today. The Vatican has caught fire and is burning. They said that a massive explosion was heard and a fire in Rome overtook the Vatican. Black smoke expanded
It's
in
crazy.
the city center. And there was going to be a rock concert scheduled for tonight.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
of course, been
Your rock concert's canceled
It's like a really
forever.
strong fire. I wonder if all of Rome.
The Vatican's only like 1 square mile, but underneath it is these huge tunnels. There's something like, I think it's 55 miles of tunnels that have nothing but our history books inside of it. Nothing but pure history. You know, when Julius Caesar went and took over the Library of Alexandria, the only area that, I know history's going to lie to you, but the only area that actually was burnt in that fire was the census. They don't want us to know the bloodline. They don't want us to know what's really going on this earth. And all that other information was salvaged and brought under these tunnels in the Roman Vatican.
I also had seen how the Rome was on fire, and first people were saying it was the Vatican, but then they just said it was just the inner parts of Rome, which we know the Vatican is like in the middle. And I totally agree with what she said about how they're burning books and they're burning documents, because that's what Satan does. He burns and gets rid of old history books and everything. Like it says in the word how he will change seasons and times, and they do that by getting rid of the knowledge and burying the knowledge and shifting the timelines and doing different things to get rid of them being exposed in the different Bibles that have been banned and hidden and things like that. And then just prophecies of what's to come for them. And then things revealing who the true people of Israel are. And even the truth about the Messiah and the truth about the bloodline and everything like that. And not only that, they also have tunnels in the Vatican underneath, where they do a lot of trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking, and other things that they do under the grounds, in tunnels, in railroads, things that are hidden in secret. However, the Bible also tells us that what's done in the dark will come to the light, and also what's done in the secret, and he will expose the naked parts of a lot of the heathens, a lot of the principalities and wickedness in high places being pulled down. And then, you know, the powers that be, they do these, especially in the Roman and the Catholicism and in Vatican, they do a lot of dark magic rituals and seances, enchanting, and calling in a lot of that demonic energy, calling in the devil, even, you know, calling on Lucifer, calling on the Queen of Heaven, just to do certain things, and made pacts with certain fallen angels to war against us to stay in power. And that's why they're, you know, Mystery Babylon. And that's why, you know, they're riding the dragon. They're using the devil, deals with the devil, to stay on top. But soon they're going to get tired of them, because they're trying to stay in power. They're trying to stay a religion, started keep everybody in church, stay controlled. But at the end of the day, the Antichrist wants all the power. The Antichrist wants all the control, all the allegiance, all the worship, the praise, so he can act like he is the Messiah, while keeping the Messiah and loop cycles, keeping him, you know, low and making nobody know who he is, so they can stay in power. And the Masons can be Jesus. They can be the G's and powers.
about to happen on Mount Sinai is absolutely insane. Religious leaders are gathering November 6th through the 18th for a ceremony they're calling Returning to Sinai, where they say that they're going to issue a new 10 Commandments to repent for man-made climate change. The website Interfaith Center for Sustainable Development has an article discussing the upcoming event titled In Sinai, a Prophetic Call for Climate Justice and Ceremony of Repentance. Mount Sinai is of course where Moses received the 10 Commandments.
Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Like, it's funny, but it's not funny because what are they doing? Like, it's crazy that they think they have that much authority and power, like, just delusional. Like, Satan has made the minds of these people be delusional because how do you think you can go against the will of the Most High and be successful? And then for the people who are like encouraging this and like following this, really are brainwashed, MK Ultra, slaved out, sold out to Satan because ain't no way you gonna sit up there and try to make some new 10 commandments. You're not even keeping the first 10. Why are you making more 10 commandments? And without the Messiah, I don't even believe some of these people believe in the Messiah. They know the Messiah. They know the Messiah has been here, is here, and they still go against it. Just, I don't know why. Like, the power can't be that good that you just lose your mind and your soul. I don't know. I feel like it's just like an addiction with evil and an attraction to trauma and staying in darkness because you've been in it for so long that you don't want to come into the glorious light of the truth of the gospel. And then just like having people follow you is like such a drug that people would do anything because they literally, world leaders, all of this was prophesied, all this was told in the Bible. Everybody knows the outcome, we know the downfall, we know what's going to happen, but they all came together and they're about to make some new 10 commandments like this. I would have never thought this would happen. Some more 10 commandments. Like, I mean, you couldn't even follow the first ones Moses had gave. Moses had to throw the commandments, lose his part in the promised land. That wasn't why, because it was another thing, but that was like leading up to it. They made some more, the Most High's anger was already like hot, and then now they doing it again. And just like how they building the Tower of Babylon, how they building it with the Tower of Babel with their different monuments and their different statues, and now they're going and making new 10 commandments. Like, this is what we didn't need. If it was anything that we didn't need for any more blasphemy, for no more plagues and curses to be on the land, no more chains around our neck, spiritually, mentally, and physically around our head, like, this is what we did not need. Okay. And there was like many different psalms and scriptures in the Bible, how they talk about how they move the Most High to anger, and this is the type of stuff that moves him to anger. And I just think it's mind blowing. I'm really like they just keep topping it. Like, the blasphemy just never stops. It goes more and more and more. And now I feel like we're literally just watching it like entertainment because it's like everywhere. Nobody really talks about it. Nobody really objects to it. They just like go along with it, and they take our agreement as that's our free will, that this is what we want to happen, and nobody asks for this. Nobody wants this. And it's crazy how every time there's some type of disease or dilemma that comes up, they want us in the house. Like, they putting us on restrictions and times out. Like, we can't go outside, like, even the gang stalking, like, we can't do nothing, but they do anything and everything that's just abominable. And we can't even go outside and breathe in the fresh air and be vibrating on the frequency of the Messiah, the Kara, in the nature. Like, that's just mind-blowing to me, and it's so unacceptable. But they're gonna get theirs. Like I said, it's already set in stone, their judgment. I guess we just like have to wait it out and watch and pray.
Welcome back, family. Today we're going to be continuing on our research in regards to the so-called Jewish Messiah, Antichrist, false prophet, whatever you have labeled him. We have not labeled him here on this channel. We are keeping our minds very, very open and staying aware of everything that is taking place in Israel and around the entire world. We don't like to draw conclusions hastily because doing that could be foolish and could actually bring your attention away from what is actually taking place. So I would highly encourage everybody not to jump on the bandwagon and just call this guy the false prophet or the Antichrist straight away, but definitely be aware of what he is doing over in Israel. Now, I want to show you something very, very interesting. The so-called Yanuka, which they have labeled him, the older Jewish rabbis have labeled him, is about to light this in the middle here. It's going to light it on fire. Here he is. The Yanuka is what they call him. The Jewish rabbis have labeled him that. And I want to show you something very, very interesting and get your opinion on what is actually taking place here. What exactly is going on? Because I've worked in media for a long time. I've worked with very advanced camera equipment and as an editor. And I can guarantee you that this is not a lens flare. This is not just something reflecting off of the camera. This is literally taking place. Now, the Jews are all dancing around this fire. I believe that this ceremony is called Lag BaOmer. Now take a look. We're going to get to the point. Please let me know what you believe this to be in the comment section below. And we're also going to take it into Photoshop and enhance it and see if we can notice anything deeper that is taking place here. Look at the fire. Watch the fire. Look at it. What is this? Do you see that? Do you see that, family? Look. It's flying up out of the fire. It looks like somebody with their hands up, to be honest. To be quite honest, it looks like somebody with their hands up. Very, very strange. I'll show you one more time. Now, it looks very strange what the fire is actually doing as well. If you take a look at the behavior of the fire, it is not normal. It is doing something very strange. Okay, well, if I find the part that I was checking yesterday, I'll upload it in a different video. But what I do want to do is I want to screenshot this. And I want to take it into Photoshop. So let's do that right now.
I'll tell you what's going on there. A whole lot of conjuring and summoning was going on there. So what we just seen was exactly what the Messiah talked to us about is going to happen in these last days, about false Christ arising, about the synagogue of Satan and how they say they're Jews but they do lie. So I'm going to have a whole video dedicated to them because they're the dark sons of Satan. And it's just like showing more and more. Like, I haven't read in the Torah, the Talmud, the Quran, or the New Testament, or any of the books or the scriptures, if I have, show me where it tells us to dance around a bonfire like pagans in Samhain, original Halloween, and singing and dancing. Like, I don't know, like, they're not ignorant to the spiritual forces, so they know that they were obviously conjuring something around that fire. And then for them to say that that's the Messiah, like, that's just way out there. Like, I don't think that's the Antichrist or Antichrist at all. I think that's their Messiah. I feel like every religion and every cult has their own Messiah that they want to uplift. They all have the spirit of the Antichrist in them, of course, but they're not the one that's going to be at the end of the day. Like, that's not the one that's going to be revealed and stuff. But I do think that they are just like in their own little world, in their own community, and they feel like they're doing what's best for them. But at the end of the day, it's still just to stay in power and just to have their allegiance to their God, which is Satan. So it's like they have this, and they won't even show his face. They won't tell us to the world, like it's this big secret. Like, if you're our Messiah, our Savior, why aren't you coming to us and, you know, helping us or whatever, or like awaken us and telling us different things, like the true Messiah is doing, or gathering the sheep. They're sitting over there having celebrations around a bonfire, and the whole fire looked like it was about to explode. Like it was so much chaos magic that they were doing. And like I've been saying in my videos, and I have another video coming out, it's like they do blood sacrificing and rituals around the full moon, because they can pull on the moon energy, the shadow side, the dark cold side of the moon, and do their rituals that way and be more successful. And they can do it in mass rituals, and when they harvest enough energy, they can make it be done. So do I think that hand that was coming out was real? I don't know. The way it was coming up kind of green, like it looked like it could be Project Bluebeam, like they projected or animated coming out of there. But I do believe that things were coming out of that fire, just because I know about fire energy. I know about fire bending. I know that it is real. I know that conjuring stuff up in fire is real, and that's how a lot of different spirits are released here. I did have a dream of a hand coming out of ashes around the same day that I seen this. And so I was thinking maybe they're trying to release the devil again, or maybe they're just trying to, do certain rituals to where they can still, be in power and have their riches and everything. Just, the same thing that they've been doing. And I really think they're owed a video of their own, because they have done so much, even still doing animal sacrifices, just blasphemy, and just so much darkness. You can tell because they wear all black and everything like that. And so even if people talk about anti-Semitic, and they're not even Semitic, they're Khazars, Gentiles, mixed with Germans, mixed with just all types of different things, and Jewishes to an extent, but not the real essence of a Jew or a Hebrew. But that's a video for another day. And so that just blew my mind right there, because I was just like, wow, what they're really doing out in these streets is crazy. And so I'm going to have to come back later with a video on the climate judgment that's been going on, and the truth about the Euphrates River, and just other videos if I can get to it. So I'm putting light to the darkness and balance to light, and I wanted to end it with the final judgment of the Babylon, and also Satan, when it says that he's seen Satan, when the Messiah said he saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning.